In 1824, James Spencer landed at Bluff to found one of the earliest settlements in New Zealand. The first European name for the town was the Mount, followed by Old Man's Bluff. The term Old Man, from the Celtic meaning high rock. This was eventually dropped and became the Bluff. In 1856, it was changed again to Campbelltown and then officially became Bluff on the 1st of March 1917. Bluff is a small town, snuggled at the foot of Bluff Hill. It's nestled beside a wonderful harbour and is steeped in the history of whaling, sealing and shipping. From the magnificent hilltop viewing platform, there's panoramic views of Stewart Island, Ruapuki and Dog Islands, Tiwai Peninsula, Centre Island and the Southern Mountains, a sight not to be missed. Shipwreck Bay is noted for its historic value. Once proud veterans of the Bluff oyster and fishing fleets have been scuttled here, some dating back to the 1870s. Many of the wrecks are still visible today, and at low tide, these hulls can be clearly seen. The original wharf was built in 1863 with an eastern limb only. A 200-foot extension to the west was added in 1872. Shortly after the Bluff Harbour Board was formed in 1876, 2 further contracts were let for extensions to the west, bringing the total wharf length to 1,613 feet. Access from the main wharf entrance, while a curved link to the west carried railway lines and formed a basin where small fishing vessels moored. Several fishing companies had their offices and processing sheds on the nearby foreshore. Customs, shipping agents, and the watersider's canteen, known as the Waddell House, were located or on close to the wharf. A shed housing the tide gauge is still standing today. Joseph Ward and his family migrated to Bluff from Melbourne when Joseph was only 4 years of age. From a humble start at age 13 as a post office messenger boy, he was later to become a very astute businessman and owned many properties in Bluff and Invercargill. Joseph Ward had substantial sheds capable of storing 20,000 sacks of wheat or grain in place by 1887. 7 years later, he could store 100,000 sacks at the site, along with wool and skins purchased from northern farmers. Designed by Peter Walker, the Club Hotel was built for Hannah Ward Barron, mother of Sir Joseph Ward. Surviving several fires over the years, the old world charm is still retained today, with the stairway featuring wrought iron and ornate pressed copper wall and ceiling panels. The post office was opened by the Postmaster General and local Member for Parliament, the Honorary J.G. Ward, on 21st November 1900. Joseph Ward was the driving force behind the construction of this imposing building. A large area of upper story was intended to be used as a courtroom. The ground floor consisted of the public office, mail room, postmaster's office and telephone exchange. At the time of opening, all South Island mail was landed and distributed from Bluff. It's interesting to note that 75,985 letters were posted to Bluff in 1899. Built for Joseph Metzger in 1892 on the southeastern corner of Palmer and Gore Streets, it's a 2-story building which initially had 4 guest rooms. In the early days, the hotel had a stable, workshop, lawn and large garden at the rear. Mr. Metzger operated the hotel until 1908, leasing it out thereafter until the executors of his estate sold it in 1938. There have been well in excess of 24 proprietors or licensees during the hotel's many years of operation. Set on 1 acre of land, which was granted to James Waddell on the 12th of February 1875, it was known as Tainui. This ex-Waddell family home is the finest example of colonial architecture in Bluff and remained in Waddell ownership for over 100 years. Tainui enjoys a panoramic view over Bluff Harbour and comprises 5 bedrooms, 2 sunrooms, a large living room, lounge, spacious kitchen, scullery, pantry, and a hallway that is 56 feet in length. There's also a large outbuilding, which would have been the original laundry, coal shed and workshop. Following the death of Guy Waddell in 1986, the property left Waddell ownership for the first time in its long history.